Can Shiba Inu hit 1 cent in value? I'm going to show you what would need to happen for Shiba Inu to actually hit 1 cent and my opinion on how likely this is. I'm also going to give you a mini trading lesson showing you one of the main tools that full-time traders use to guide their trading decisions. So make sure you listen to the entire video for that. If you're really impatient, there's a timestamp floating around the screen somewhere telling you exactly where the trading lesson is going to be in the video, so you can skip right there. So can Shiba Inu actually hit 1 cent? Let me give you a clue. 1 quadrillion. 1 quadrillion, what are we talking about? Well, again, if you want to skip to that part of the video, there's another icon floating around and that'll tell you the timestamp you need to skip to. But what do you think of when someone says to you Shiba Inu?
Now at last I have seen a judgment of Solomon, and your wisdom amazes me.
The first time I heard of Shiba, I thought people were talking about the Queen of Shiba. Shiba Inu, it's more like a mad rush. It is important to note that anything I talk about today should not be taken as financial advice. These are my opinions and for edutainment, also known as education and entertainment only. So back to Shiba. The reality is that most people think of this coin as something that they are missing out on. The Shiba Inu hit an all-time high recently, and we have to talk about what that means. As investors,
company that our clients can believe in.
Or should I call them speculators,
You be relentless!
keep piling in and buying the coin in the hope that it will keep on going higher.
Is this the greatest company in the world?
So let's take a step back a little bit and go back a little bit in time.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, they're the modern Stone Age family.
Okay, no, that's too far. Not going to go that far back in time.
Well, now,
The Doge Father.
okay, Doge Father. So,
Well, if you remember, it also started as a joke.
what is Dogecoin?
Well, it actually started as a joke based on an internet meme.
I've got a favor to ask you. Smash that like button really hard, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button. Now, if we look on CoinMarketCap, which is a website you need to be familiar with if you're doing anything with crypto, that joke of Dogecoin has turned into a market cap near 36 billion in value. That's a B, not an M, billion. So right underneath Dogecoin, you see Shiba Coin, but we're going to come back to that. You'll have heard loads of Lambo stories of people becoming rich overnight holding Dogecoin. At the time of recording, the current price of Shiba Inu is near around 0.000066 cents. That's a lot of zeros. Now what's interesting is that when it comes to crypto, right now it's actually the third most searched item out there, behind Bitcoin itself and Ethereum. And as you all know from listening to my other videos, I'm a bit of a fan of Ethereum. Now, the debate over whether Shiba is actually useful or has any real utility, just as any debate on pretty much any coin you could pick, there will always be die-hard Shiba fans and others who completely hate the coin. What about you? Where do you sit on this? I'm going to say something controversial here. From a trading perspective and an investment perspective, it really doesn't matter what you think about Shiba, whether it's useful or not. And here's why. In the finance world, there's something called the greater fool theory, also known as get rich or die trying. So what is the greater fool theory? Well, it simply states that the price of any tradable commodity, and this could be Bitcoin, gold, diamonds, property in Dubai, yeah, we've seen them all. The price of anything is determined whether or not you think you could sell it for more later on. It's speculation. Now here's the important part that some people fail to understand. The intrinsic value of the asset is far less important than the increase in demand. Many years ago in Dubai, there was a huge rush to buy property in Dubai. But there was no intrinsic demand. There wasn't a huge demand for property in Dubai. It was just demand in terms of speculative value. Somewhere like the United Kingdom, there isn't enough land to go around where we can build houses on. Property will always in the medium to long term go up because there's people waiting, there's a housing shortage. So what is the great fool theory then? How does it work? So the person buying Shiba or Dogecoin when it was back at 1 cent was the fool. Hey, you're a fool. How could you buy a joke coin for 1 cent. So after you bought the joke coin for 1 cent, you were a fool. Today, someone else buys it at 20 cents. That person is the greater fool. As Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi says,
More foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?
who's the greater fool, the fool or the fool who follows him? Now, the modern translation of the great fool theory is FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh my God, it's going to the moon. I'm gonna miss it. I need to get in now. Panic, panic, panic. So let's take another example. How about Bitcoin itself? Now, back in the day, 10 years when first Bitcoin, it was possible to buy it. And yes, I have to agree, this would have been me too. Most people would have thought this is a joke. Come on, this is a very random investment. You're not gonna put money into that, are you? I totally agree. I was in the same camp when people told me about it. Now we know that just $100 invested when Bitcoin was at $10 would have netted a very tidy profit when you look at the price of Bitcoin now, which is over $60,000 at the time of recording. Someone who bought Bitcoin at $1,000, and if he sees me buying it at $30,000, could think of me as a fool. I might look at someone else who bought it at $60,000 and think of them as a fool. Disclaimer, I don't think that way at all. I'm trying to give you an illustration of the greater fool theory. So now it's time for that trading lesson I promised you. So this is one of the tools that professional traders use to judge a market and gauge what the future direction or trend of a market could be. So this tool is known as a moving average. Well, what is a moving average? A moving average is a technical analysis tool which smooths out price data movements by creating a constantly updated average price. To give you an example of a moving average, what I'm going to do here is show you a currency that's one of the most often traded currency with Forex traders. But the principle is exactly the same if you should trade crypto or anything else. So I'm just going to show you an example of how a moving average works. And this is with the currency, the US dollar against the Japanese yen. I know I'm doing Forex, but it's exactly the same as if we were looking at any crypto. So here we're looking at the daily chart of the US dollar Japanese yen. And what I've done here is, okay, so let me just kind of close that. So zoom in here a little bit. So what I've painted on here is the 20-day moving average. So these bars here are the activity in one particular day. So for example, on one particular day here, which is 34th of March, the price had the high point of 1080 and the low point of 10696. So it kind of went up and down for the whole day. So now this here is the moving average. So the moving average, the 20-day moving average, as you can see, is chugging along here. Now, one of the trading strategies could be that when the price goes above the moving average, as you can see here, it's identifying a trend that is going up. So what you could have done is buy this currency here, and you potentially could have had quite a nice profit running up. Now that is how a moving average does work. Now the downside of moving averages is that they are subject to what's called whipsaws. Now if we look at this section here, you can see there's lots of times where it's gone through the moving average multiple times, and you know that can be more difficult to trade, and this is what's called a whipsaw. Okay, so that's just a really quick introduction to moving averages and trading with moving averages. So for example, if you wanted to take a 20-day moving average, we would take the average of the last 20 days price. You can then create strategies based around these moving averages. I can go into some other trading strategies at a later time, but for now you get the impression here. This is a very simple introduction to moving averages, so you do need to do your further analysis on this.
Difficult to see. Always emotion is the future.
It's important to note that averages are only an accumulation of past data. Unless you're Master Yoda, I don't know anyone else who could accurately predict the future.
Even you.
And even Master Yoda couldn't completely see what happens in the future. Okay, I admit I'm a Star Wars fan. Guilty as charged.
Much to learn. You still have.
Quadrillion is 1,000 trillion, which is 1 followed by 15 zeros. Here you go. I think that's 15. I may have mistyped. But why is that important? Well, the reason that it is important is that when Shiba Inu was first created, there was a total supply of 1 quadrillion tokens. Now let's just have a look at this. Now if there's a 1 quadrillion supply, then if you had Shiba worth 1 cent, that would make the market capitalization something like 100 trillion. Now, given the biggest coin of all, which is Bitcoin right now, is currently sitting at a market capitalization of 1.2 trillion, you can see that a joke coin is just not going to be worth 100 times what Bitcoin is. It's just not going to happen. But right now, if you look on CoinMarketCap, there's not actually 1 quadrillion Shiba Inu in supply. There's just over half that. What happened to the rest? Well, it's called a coin burn. So let's have a quick look at this video here where we're going to show you what a coin burn is.
What is a token burn? A token burn is the destruction of a certain amount of tokens in order to reduce their number in circulation. This method is successfully applied by crypto projects, traditional businesses, and even global corporations. The main target of burning tokens is quite simple, and that is to support an asset's price growth and value increase.
So now we see that if the number of coins in circulation are reduced, then you can have Shiba Inu hitting 1 cent. So for example, if you had but in reality now we're throwing numbers around, and this is a highly speculative coin. And once again, I'm not here to give you trading advice or any kind of financial recommendation. But this is one of the ways that Shiba Inu could hit 1 cent. Very, very possible. And as a speculative investment, you could put a little bit of money in there, but you know what? If you lose all of it, really should not be surprised. I do strongly suggest that you look into the 2 videos on the screen below. Number 1 is why most people lose money trading crypto. Really important, because actually most people do lose money when trading. It's a sad reality. Number 2, if you want to set up a stable online business, check out this link. It's going to give you a lot of information. Stay safe, and I'll catch you again really, really soon.